Oh, I'm live. Took me by surprise. Even though I pressed the go live button, it takes a little bit of time to sort of work. Thanks. Just get my spoffle in place in front of my microphone. Hopefully you can hear me correctly. Oh, I need to wet my whistle. So I saw that Deanne was going to be live of Blue Crescent Tarot. So I jumped on over to there and saw that everyone was saying goodbye. And I was like, oh. And then Deanne had said that it was meant to be cancelled, or she had cancelled it, but it hadn't sort of gone through on YouTube, weirdly. But I think it's now been, what's the word? It's now gone down. Hello, Jamie. How are you doing, darling? So I wanted to pre-film. I just noticed how wonky my lampshade is there. It's a bit annoying. It looks like a funny little hat. I wanted to pre-film a video of the tarot deck that I'm looking at today, but I'm feeling quite tired. I've been up and up again today. It's sort of 3 days in a row, just cracking on with stuff and doing a lot of creative stuff. Actually, probably since last Friday, I've been like really quite busy at this desk making stuff. Hello, Stephanie, my love. You all right? So yeah, I'm just like, I need to have a break from the creative stuff, refill the creative well, the creative bucket. And I thought, well, Deanne's no longer going live, so I will go live instead. Gave me an excuse to just go, do you know what? I'll do a live unboxing. It's fine. Because I'm lazy. You are going to be looking at one of my most favorite. Oh, it's one of your most favorite. I think I'd seen you say that before, actually, Jamie. So I'm just gonna put some cream on my hands because they're so dry. It's pretty grim, but oh, it smells so yummy. It smells like almost like I could eat it, like sugar cookies or something. Looking mighty cute there, lady. Love the flower in your hair. Oh, okay, thank you. It's just an easy way to just add a bit of, a bit of something to the old casual outfit, isn't it? I do love my hair flowers. Right, sorry, I'm just going to get this all back on, put my rings back on. I don't know why I bother wearing rings indoors. It's just, I don't know. They make me feel, I just, like, how cool is this? Anyway, just get on with it. So as you'll see from the title, I'm going to be doing a live unboxing of the Förhäxa. I should have looked up how to pronounce that, but I didn't. So yeah, and it's my first deck from MJ Cullinane. Oh my god, I'm just so sorry if I'm butchering your name. The creator of the Crow Tarot, and also there's the Urban Crow Oracle, I believe, is a new one. There's something about there's like nighttime animal. There's a nighttime animal deck. There's a bunch of them, but none of them have really appealed to me until I saw the Förhäxa, and because I wasn't really looking at decks too much last year, this one really it passed me by. And it wasn't until I think either the very end of last year or the very beginning of this year, what you said the first time, Förhäxa or Förhäxa. I don't know which one I said first, Jamie. I've distracted myself now. Brilliant. And that was it. I don't know if it was at the end of the last year or the beginning of this year, and I saw it and was like, oh, it is so pretty, but no, I will not get it. And then I got Christmas and birthday money, and I put it into my account a couple of weeks ago so that I could spend it. And so yeah, I ordered myself a copy. So it was in like a puffalope. So I've taken the puffalope. And then it actually had like 2 postcards with it. So it was just I'm going to be honest, I'm not super chuffed when creators send decks in puffalopes. And then it was in this, but this wasn't sealed. So this could have slid out of and then, because, and it's in a hard box for Förhäxa. Cool. I thought I said did I say Förhäxa? Cool. Because it could have very easily gotten dinged up on the corners. It didn't, thankfully, but you just don't know. And obviously that's not necessarily the creator's fault if postal services are really rough with parcels, but yeah, it just makes me nervous. I'm much more a fan of a box. I know it's probably because it makes the shipping cheaper a little bit. The shipping was a little bit cheaper than for the Playful Heart Tarot, but not by much. And the Playful Heart Tarot came in a box. Anyway, so I've not looked in it. I've not opened it. It doesn't appear to have any. It doesn't have anything holding it closed again. So, but the box is really pretty. I have a feeling this is going to be like the Empress card. I don't know, which is probably going to bug me because it's another pregnant person. But here we go. So it's just a 2-part hard box. There's the book on the top. It's fairly decent size. I think it's probably not. Yeah, it's not got any printed pictures in it of the cards, but yeah, I'm interested to read it. I always like to see when it's a book by the artist themselves. Again, so, and then yeah, there's no ribbon or anything, I don't think. No, so it's just really bare bones, just like this. Oh, the deck size is interesting. So it's quite wide, but I think about the same like height as a regular deck. I just had a deck arrive yesterday from the UK and the outer packaging box was squashed in half. Oh my god, which deck was that, Jamie? So let's actually, I'll get a standard sized deck, which is one that Jamie will recognise. So let's just see how it looks against like a pretty standard sized deck, because I know this is the same size pretty much of my Centennial and my Moon Baby. So let's see. Yeah, so it's a wee bit taller and then quite a bit wider. And then so measurements wise, let's do measurements wise. So again, it's going to be in centimeters. Oh, I did that last time, didn't I? And then I was like, oh, I have my measuring tape that I can use, which has inches and centimeters. So let's have a wee gander. So in inches wide, width, it is 3.5 inches wide, which makes it almost 9 centimeters long. And then it's 5 inches that way, which in centimeters for my European pals is 12.7, maybe 12.8. And then thickness wise for the cardstock, because you know the cardstock, the thickness of the deck makes a difference, especially if it's a lot wider and it's harder to get your hands around. But it looks pretty standard. So 2.5, so yeah, an inch, which is pretty standard cardstock. Okie dokie. So that's all the like boring bump out of the way. What is your shuffling preference? As in the way that I shuffle. My shuffling preference is riffle shuffling. Do you mean? And Jamie says, I edged my Förhäxa in orange. Love it. The squash box was the Lovely Day Tarot, and it was thankfully fine inside. Lovely Day Tarot. I don't think I've seen that one. So let's just pull that aside. Okay. I have buggered hands and I shuffle it okay, thankfully. Oh, well. But I'm sorry for your buggered hands. Okay, so this is the back, which is very pretty. As you can see, it's like a very deep teal or petrol blue. Don't know if it's really showing up. And I think this is a standard sort of Smithwaite. I don't know. I think some of the cards have been renamed, but for the most part, it fits a Smithwaite structure. It's not a pip deck or anything. It's a scenic, situational pip deck. So yeah, the artwork, I'm not sure how the artist creates the artwork. It feels like there's a lot of sort of digital manipulation that goes on with images. But it's very textured and layered. So we have the Fool here. I'll take that down so people can see the cards. And you see all these bees or wasps. She's sitting on, it must be bees because it looks like she's sitting on a beehive. But that makes me feel nervous. But I guess that is in place of a, you know, a person stepping off the cliff. she's putting herself at risk by sitting on a hive. So that's an interesting take on it. I know this is inspired by, I believe, like the Norse sagas or something, from what I remember. And I think this is all women or female coded people in the deck. I'm not 100% sure about that. Or mostly. So we have the Magician. We have like this winged person and this huge flower. So this makes me think that this person is the size of a bird, that they're like a fey creature, because otherwise that plant there is going to be absolutely huge. I can see there's a pentacle, as a cup over there, a wand. Where's the sword? Oh, they're holding the sword. Dope. So yeah, just found it really grabbing. It's like a sort of, I don't know, it's almost like collage mixed with, I don't know, I can't describe it. High priestess, looking rather fabulous, this time with sort of bat type wings, of which I love. She's a horny lady. She's got lots of flowing white hair, which is very cool. And she's pouring, I just felt that she's pouring something into the waters. It's vision based. So do you mean it was like created through visions, Jamie? Yes, I was asking about shuffle because I riffle shuffle and cardstock is always my second concern after the images. See, for me, Stephanie, that's interesting. For me, the cardstock is important because I riffle shuffle. If the cardstock is too matte, if the cardstock is too slippery, if the cardstock is too sticky, if the cards, yeah, like all those things can make a riffle shuffle really difficult for me because I have quite small hands. Yeah, this was the Empress, I was right. The one that was on the box, was it? Not always a fan of just always seeing pregnant Empresses. But it is what it is. I do like the rabbits. And actually, I made a headdress like this myself that has orchids on it. So that's pretty cool. I love that she's got like butterfly wings. This is just making me think of Deanne at the moment of Blue Crescent Tarot, though, because she's about to pop. So... Oh, sorry. So I thought you meant you saying cardstock is your second concern, as in you're not concerned, but you're saying you are concerned after the images. Yes, the same. Sorry, I misinterpreted what you were saying. So that makes sense. The count. Okay. So here's our first change. We've got the Council of Monarchs instead of the Emperor, which is pretty cool. And it looks like each one represents a suit each, because you can see each one of them is holding, you know, there's a pentacle and a cup at the back, and then a sword and a wand at the front. Again, they've all got like horns and wings, which is very interesting combination, because these look sort of almost moth-like or dragonfly, I don't know, interesting sort of insect-like wings. And some people have feathered wings in this. So the Hierophant, I remember seeing a little bit about the Hierophant and how what it represented, but I can't quite remember, something to do with, yeah, the different levels of the world or something. But there's like a spirit deer in the background, and there's these snowdrops. Snowdrops are coming up at the moment all around here because we're having a very mild spring. I'm kind of laughing at myself because I was thinking this deck was going to have a lot of foxes in it. Somehow I anglicized the name into fox. That makes sense, though. If you just hear it quickly, you think, oh, that's like a foxy tarot. Is there a fox? There's a kitsune tarot, isn't there? I think there might be another one that's sort of foxy based as well. I reconcile myself to the Empress. I'm not a fan of pregnant Empresses, but the saving grace is it's a beautiful card. It is a beautiful card, Jamie. So we have the Lovers, which I'm a big fan of because it looks like 3 ladies having a good old time. That's interesting, though. There's a snake around this one's neck. Ooh. She looks like she's sort of, oh no, yeah, they're all holding hands. Like it could be about a choice, but it could also be like a polyamorous situation. The Chariot is kind of, they don't have wings, they do have wings and a cloak and a very long hair, and they're on a crow or a raven, and there's fire, and it's all very, you can just feel the dynamism there and the movement and the energy of the Chariot. That's pretty cool. So does anyone else here have this deck other than Jamie? The Strength card is cool. I hadn't seen every single card in here. This is a mermaid, and she's reaching up out of the waves, and then there's a dragon. So you've got these two opposing elements. You know, the water and the fire. Really interesting, because the fire heats the water, which makes steam, but the water can put out the fire. So that's quite an interesting. It almost gives me Temperance vibes because of that sort of that balance of elements. It's a really interesting take. I'm looking forward to reading the book on this. Oh, the Hermit. I do remember seeing the Hermit. Look at this. This sort of almost like crow-esque changeling type woman, and then she's got her feet in the water and it's full of fish. Really lovely. Is she in a cave? I don't know. It's almost like Klimt-esque details. It's not going to show up on this camera, but there's so much going on, like texture wise. It does put me in mind of some of Klimt's work, Gustav Klimt's artwork. Wheel of Fortune. Now, you know, a lot of us are not fans of the Wheel of Fortune, but this was a Wheel of Fortune that I really like. Again, we're getting this opposing sort of force feeling where we've got two characters and they seem like this woman here, again, is sort of quite sparkly and flamey. And this one, rather than watery, is quite airy, but we've got this play with the elements. And there's some interesting stuff to do with, like, it appears to be sort of like the cycle of day and night. Can you see here? There's the moon, there's the sun, and you've got like the sunrise and sunset going on here. That's really cool. Interesting. Very interesting. And then is that the Omega sign at the top as well? Lots of irises. I wonder if the flowers have been put in specifically for significance, like a specific flowers to mean specific things. That's interesting. Hi, Sandra, my love. You've just received this deck but not opened it. Well, mine arrived yesterday, Sandra, and I put it aside. I was very good. I put it aside. I didn't open it. I mean, I opened the Jiffy pouch, and then I was like, oh, that's the Förhäxa, and then I put it aside. And then, yeah, here I am today. Orshi's here. Hello, Orshi. Jamie says, I hadn't put my finger on it, but yes, Kim, right? It's got that sort of really detailed, and I know it's like a digital effect that I've seen in other decks. But yeah, interesting. So we've got Justice, more snakes showing up in the cards. This time, instead of horns, we have antlers. Classic Justice being blindfolded, and she's got a sword in each hand. Again, we've got these we've got two colors, two opposing. This feels very much so far like there's a lot of opposites going on, a lot of balance going on in this deck. So again, I wonder if this will be something that is addressed in the book. There are also two sort of raven or crow feathers that are crossed with each other at the very bottom. Again, it's not going to show very well. And poppies in the background. And there's all crows in her antlers. This camera isn't doing this deck justice at all. Justice. The Hanged Man. Oh, this is interesting because we see like an almost batwing like creature has grabbed up this this character who has more sort of fairy fae-like wings, and they're being grabbed by their heel and carried away. Anyone that's seen Midnight Mass, though, am I right? Heather, hello, Heather. Love the imagery. Pamela, hello. I really love this deck so much. I'm so happy you got it, Kelly. Thank you, Pamela. You guys are really tempting me, but I am not getting decks at the moment, so all is well. Oh, I don't mean to tempt you, Orshi. I know what it's like because I've literally spent the last 3 years not really getting decks, and so now I'm like having a bit of a little splurge. But I'm okay now. I've had a few, and now I'm like, well, I'm sated for a while. the tarot hunger has been satiated. I'm saving mine until I get back from Nottingham. Oh, of course, I forgot you were going up to Nottingham to see Simon, and I was gliding him this morning and totally forgetting. Oh, I have tiny hands too. What's that? Have I missed something? Have I missed? I bought this deck. I'm still a beginner at tarot. It was bigger and slippier than I saw it. So then I hope. I have small hands and short fingers. I have short hands and no, I have fingers are not too short, but I do have small hands. Midnight Mass was genius. It was very divisive, wasn't it? People either really liked it or really didn't like it. I really liked it, but I'm a massive fan of a slow burn, and I love a monologue. I love a good monologue, and there were a lot of monologues in it, and I enjoyed it very much. I also really enjoyed Archive 81, and I saw a friend had tweeted yesterday that they'd just finished watching it and what a pile of shite they thought it was, and I really liked it. It was very slow. I really enjoy slow burn. Like The Witch is a very slow burn film, but I'm all about it. I took a buying break. Also, says Stephanie, has Simon seen Förhäxa yet? I think he has, Pamela, I believe. I am going into a no buy for the rest of the year after 5th of March, says Sandra. Fair enough. And Sandra liked Midnight Mass as well. Cool. So let's look at Death. Death's face is kind of creepy, which I know sounds silly, what with it being death, but it looks like the back of a death's head moth, and then this face has been extrapolated into sort of a three-dimensional creature. Do you know what I mean? Like the back of a death's head moth has come to life, almost like the head has grown out of the skull on the back of the moth. And then it's surrounded by black roses. Oh, and there is a fox. Look, there you go. There is a fox, a sleeping fox. Oh, look. And it's snowing. Oh, no, is the fox dead? Oh, no, that makes sense because it's death and there's black roses. And it's, oh, no, now it's not. Now it's sad. I love foxes. Yeah, I saw that you'd gone up with Elle, Sandra. Not saw, Simon said you'd gone up with, Simon said you'd gone up with Elle. I hope you have fun, you two. I have massive hands, not big enough to palm a basketball or anything, but I can handle a large deck. That's handy for you, Stephanie. And Sandra loved Archive 81 too. I think we have quite a similar taste when that comes. We like similar music as well, don't we, Sandra? We like a bit of heavy metal and rock, don't we? We've got love our metal band t-shirts. Pamela says Midnight Mass, last episode at 40-minute mark, when she says what she believes a death is was so much my own. Yeah, same. It had such an animist or more sort of like an animist or pantheist feel to it. It was very much how I see, you know, how I view the world to a certain extent. I remember what I really am and what is really true. It was beautiful, wasn't it? The death card is cool, but also sad. So Temperance, interestingly, so those last couple of cards that I mentioned, where you see that duality, we don't have that feeling in the Temperance card, the one where you would expect to see it, right? So she's got like a sort of voile or chiffon type, capelet type thing. I'm very much like a performer that I used to know, Vicky Butterfly, would wear lots of gossamer type costumes, and she's got these beautiful wings. And then she's got horns, and she's like controlling. It's almost like water is coming down and the fire is going up, and she's controlling both. But it doesn't have that strong sense of duality that we saw in those other decks that felt like they could be, in those other cards that felt like they could be Temperance. The Devil. We have this sort of goldfish type mer person, but then we also have this like fey creature, and it's like their wings have come off. They've lost their wings because they've lost their way, and then there appears to be lots of other wings that have fallen down, these sort of insect like wings all lying around this temptress, this siren, this almost two-faced. Can you see the face that she's showing to this fairy creature is golden and goldfish and flowing, and then the other half that's turned away is very white and pale and spooky bitch, like ghostly. She's got fangs as well. Can you see the fangs? They're almost like slightly comedy fangs. Interesting. It's almost like her hair's whipped around and pulled off her wings, the fairy's wings. So yeah. Midnight Mass is on Netflix, definitely. Oh, someone's already said. Thanks, Pamela. The Tower I really liked. So we've got this person sort of dominating, this sort of embodiment, or this sort of personalization of almost like a volcano or an earthquake, and you can see the mountain is sort of splitting asunder, and there's all you can see inside the structure of the earth, inside the mountain, and fire is starting to flare up, and then this character is actually like sort of pulling down trees. It's got trees in its hands, or trees or tender stem broccoli, burnt tender stem broccoli. And they're really stony faced. They look really like, they don't even look angry. They just look very sort of passively, sort of, yeah, almost soulless. I don't know. And then you see all the waves behind, almost like it could be a tsunami coming up behind, like an earthquake, and then the subsequent tsunami. But this also makes me think of Ragnarok, right? Especially if you see the film Thor Ragnarok, which I know deviates massively from the sagas and sort of Norse myth, but it's still fun, and they still sort of pull in some elements of Norse mythology, obviously. But yeah, that imagery. Calla Lily. Hello, Calla Lily. I think the tower is super powerful. It is, isn't it? It's really effective. So now we have the star. So again, a deviation from what we would see in our classic star. We don't have a naked lady pouring water onto the ground and onto a pool. There is, in fact, no pool at all. There's this sort of stardust or whipping about her, or energy. I don't know, sparkly shit. I don't know what it is. And there appears to be, I don't know if it's just foliage on the ground, but there's almost like possibly a tiny little creature in the corner there. I might just be seeing things. Almost like a dragon creature, maybe. And she's got a star in her sternum, and she's sort of just got her hand underneath the flower as it blooms. Interesting. Again, see how big the flowers are. So she's got to be like a fake creature, right? Like really wee. I may have to break my dry spell and pick up this deck. Oh no. Am I being an enabler, Stephanie? The moon is stunning. Again, we've got all these like little silhouettes of fey creatures. These still have their wings, and they're flitting about this woman here, who looks very sad. She's got Luna Moth wings and Luna Moth antenna. And then there is a reflection of death. That's the death character. Ooh. Ooh. And the moon, reflection of the moon in there. That is intriguing. This deck is going to be fun to work with. The sun. We have now this character again, much like the character in the tower, rather than being like minuscule and fey-like, small and wee. Again, it is huge and striding and taller than the trees. Is towering above the clouds, and holding the sun in their hands, which we know wouldn't really be possible because the sun is mumblety, like a billion light years away. But or million light years away. How far away is the sun? Sorry, I've got to find out how far away is our sun? 148.02 million kilometers, or 93 million miles. What's that in light years, though? Never mind. I just had to find it. Sorry, because it'd be bugging me. But anyway, yeah, it's metaphorical, right? She's not literally meant to be holding the sun, because the sun is really, really, really far away, folks. Thank you for the enabling. Please get this deck, Stephanie, before, or anyone who doesn't have it. It's so beautiful. The deep says Pamela. You're all a bunch of enablers. You're an enabler. You're an enabler. And you're an enabler. I was so glad to get the second edition. Is it a second edition or is it a second printing? Because if it's a second printing, it's the same as the last one. It's just another printing of it. If it's a second edition, it would be there's been changes to it. Meow, 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 meow. Does it say? I don't know. Do, 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 do. Förhäxa, a land of enchantment and weights. It doesn't say. Well, I'll be damned. Don't know. Nope. I should have read the book back, though. Journey through the magical land of Förhäxa, Swedish for enchant, cast a spell, and bedevil. I love that word, bedevil. This is a realm where dark and light collide. That makes sense with the whole like juxtaposition we're seeing, that sort of balance of light and dark, or opposing energy, where we find ourselves where the elements hold court, where we find ourselves connecting to a force outside our own. It doesn't say, it just says printed in the USA. I think it's just a second printing. I don't think anything's been changed. But I could be wrong, because I often am. Don't take my word for it. Now, what's Orshi's adding it to her wish list. Wow, we're failing you, Orshi. It's enlightening hearing your impressions of each image. Oh, thank you, Heather. Because, yeah, you know, people might not want to watch me waffle on about every single card, but there's like straight up walkthroughs for people to watch if that's the case. I do this for me more than as much as for anyone else, really. Because I like to talk through what I think about each card, verbalize it. It's easier for me to remember than just looking through a card, through a deck on my own. And so it's easier for me to do that if I have a camera. There's been the odd occasion where I've actually filmed a walkthrough and never put it up, because there were so many of a certain deck. I'm like, people don't need to see this, but it helped me to unbox it and talk about each card to a camera, rather than just sitting here and just talking. Although I do that when I practice tarot, when I do like practice tarot readings and I'm having a play, I will sort of give a reading to like no one, but I feel better if I have like my if I put like my lumpy space princess, or where has he gone? He's always up there. I've got like Milfoy. If I have like a little audience member like sitting in front of me, so that I feel like I'm talking to something. And I've even done them for Nomi as well. And she's like looking at me with her head tilting, like, what are you on about? Anyway, I'm getting distracted. Meow. Ugh, get comfy. Second printing, not second edition. Thank you for the clarification, Jamie. Gotta go. Bye, Orshi. Have a good day. That's all right. Don't need to apologise, Sandra. I think we all need to get out of that habit, because we often say second edition when we literally do mean second printing. And I know that Katie Flowers had said, we always say second edition when we mean second printing, but when it comes to book publishing, it's only a second edition if something's changed. Otherwise, it's just another printing of that book. Yeah, no mistake, really. I used second edition interchangeably sometimes. Yeah, see, we all do it. Morning, Tammy Pie. Well, it's afternoon here. Yeah, LSP fucking rules, Tammy, doesn't she? It helps me to feel your energy, Kelly. I really needed this today. Just lost a long-time friend from my backyard. Oh, my goodness, Stephanie, I'm so sorry. My condolences, my love. Oh, it's really going about at the moment. I'm just hearing nothing but really just scary things happening. It just seems to be going around. Candy, hey babe, you all right, my love? And Heather, well, that sounds fun. An audience, yeah, an audience of squishy toys. Oh, actually, Sandra, you shared something on Facebook, and I was like, I have one of those. Hold on, from when I was a baby, and I still have it because my mum found it a few years ago and washed it for me. This is from, it was bought for me before I was born, so it would have been bought in 1980 and given to me, or I can't remember if my mum said this was hers. Anyway, it was given to me when I was a baby, and it was in my cot when I was a baby. Could you imagine putting this in with a cot with a newborn nowadays? I had all sorts of toys in my cot, apparently. I got rid of most of them. I gave them to like charity because they were in really good condition and they were vintage. Maybe I should have kept them. I'm not very nostalgic a lot of the time. Maybe I will be a bit more as I get older. But I like keep like the most important ones, and this was my favourite. But it never had a name because it was given to me when I was so young. And I never named it. I have a koala Australia, which is still one of my favorite toys to keep. Oh yeah, but I'm really sorry about that, Stephanie. What's divine? Oh, of course, Candy, the rabbit toy. You and your toys. Do you have any of those, Candy? You'll have to send me photos. Are you kidding? You want photos of it? I could do that 100%. That would be amazing. That would be so cool. I'd love to do that for you. Pinky. Yeah, let's call it Pinky. Why not? Pinky. And it can suck its pinky. There we go. It could suck a thumb as well. But loads of people find them creepy. But I love that it's like, I know, is it, because I was like, maybe it's a kid in a rabbit costume. But like it has buck teeth and it's got a rabbit. It almost like a Who of Whoville. But it makes me laugh because I have little rabbit teeth. Mine have got a gap. I swear my gap's gotten bigger as I've gotten older. And I suck my thumb. It's a comfort thing. So probably why I have my lower teeth are bent inwards. Probably because I've sucked my thumb my whole life. Learn something new every day. Just saying what everyone's saying, sending love to Stephanie. The unicorn, yeah, Millefois was a gift from Simon, Sandra. Our Simon, not my husband Simon. Confusing. You'll have to send me photos, Kelly, for the, I saw that one. I was in New York City Park. Lots of them again. Oh yeah, I saw you had the brown one, Sandra, that you shared, I think. Pinky is in. Yeah, I'm not going to think of what card it would be, and you can have the paintings. Oh, are you kidding me? No, I just got goosebumps. No, that's too much, Candy. Oh my goodness. It could be 9 of Swords. Yeah, and it used to be in bed. It used to sit in bed with me when I'd have nightmares. So no, Kevin, I'm not doing readings today. I am doing a walkthrough of the deck. Anyway, I should probably carry on with the walkthrough, shouldn't I? I'm getting distracted. No, it's you haven't brought the energy down to Stephanie at all. Do not apologize. Thank you for letting us know and sending you so much love. There is absolutely, if anyone has any feeling down or grief, this is a space we can all talk about it and give you support and send you love. There's no bringing it down here at all. Don't worry. So we've got what was that? The 9 of Swords. I was going to put the Judgment card, which is stunning. I actually think this is one of my most favorite Judgment cards. I'm not a massive fan of the traditional. I do like it in the Marseille just because their little butts crack me up. They're just I don't know, they're just funny. But generally as a rule, I'm not a massive fan of the Judgment card. It's very Christian, obviously. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not, even though I have Catholic roots, it's not something imagery that I really, really jive with. It's like why the Lovers card in the Pagan Otherworlds really gets on my tits and sometimes stops me reaching for that deck because it's Pagan Otherworlds and then it has like a mega Christianized Lovers. I'm like, what? Where? How? Why did that happen? That was a choice, wasn't it? Anyway, so as you can see, we've got this woman here that has clearly popped her clogs because she's paler than I am, which is quite a feat. And there is what appears to be her spirit floating up into heaven or Valhalla or wherever, because she's got arrows flying at her. So maybe she's like a fallen warrior, although I can't tell. She's got her wings wrapped around her. But it's just beautiful. And this like teal and jade colors with the yellow, obviously giving that sort of opposing colors on the color wheel, really making them pop. That color theory really coming into play there. And then again, lots of fire in this deck, right? The world. The one thing that did bug me about this world card is you see these lanterns. First of all, if this is meant to be like an oldie worldy deck, these I don't know how long these have existed for. Maybe a while, because I know that they were used in like East Asia for festivals. But these things that people put out, they're so dangerous. Environmentalists, wildlife preservationists and so on had to do a massive like campaign about 10-15 years ago, because they became really popular. There were adverts using them and everything, imagery of them and phone adverts and all sorts, because they damaged the environment. And also animals were getting hurt. Some of them were like catching fires. So it just kind of, I'm like, I wish it was like fireflies or something. And it also almost takes me out of the deck, the theme of the deck, because it feels very modern to me, even though theoretically these are things that could have been used for quite a long time. Beautiful Judgment card. It's stunning. That's so cool that you're going to paint the bunny for Kelly. Says, oh, that's Sandra. I adore this deck. Didn't get it, but really want it. Oh, have you seen this deck, Kelly? The Dirt Gems Plant Oracle. I have seen it, but I'm not sure if I like it. I don't have a plant oracle. I would like a plant oracle, an animal oracle, and a like rock crystal oracle, purely so I can do what Kelly Fitz does with her journey tokens, because I've been using my D20, my 20-sided die, for if I get the animal, plant, or like crystal stone token, and that just gives me an option of 1 to 20, and mostly I just use the ones that are in Kelly's guidebook. But she uses oracle decks, and then they have more than 20 cards in them, and so you get more options. I'm thinking I might get the Seed and Sickle. That's the plant one that I'm looking at. I do like the look of the Hedge Witch Botanic by Ciola Thompson, because the guidebooks looks really good, and Ciola Thompson really writes good guidebooks. But they're both mass market, so maybe I could pick up both and see which one I prefer. I've seen those paper lanterns released at the breach. Seems the only safe space, providing that they do go out over the sea. And even then, it's polluting the sea, isn't it? It's a real problem. Such a shame. Yeah, all that trash falls back to Earth. Us humans, eh? Just seeing if I've got... Okay, I think I'm up to date. There's loads of plant oracles, but none of them quite. But I guess because I'm into herbalism, I'm really fussy about my plant decks. Okay, so we're on to the miners. We've got the Earth suit, which is obviously going to be pentacles or discs. I'm going to try and speed it up because I've been on for nearly 45 minutes. I'm just going to take Pamela's. Oh, Stephanie loves the Seed and Sickle. You have that one, Stephanie. Oh, what's that? Is there usually big problems with result? Exactly, yeah. Linda, hello, lovely. Ooh, fur babies. They've been cared for. And coffee. You're saying you're getting breakfast and coffee. That sounds good. So we've got the Ace of Earth. We have this again, this winged. Wings seem to be a theme here. And they're opening this. Can you see they're actually holding a seed? So that gives you the scale of how small this person is, this little creature is. And it's just starting to germinate there. And there's like, is that light? There's a shaft of light. A shaft of light just shining in onto the plant. And there's other ones under the... Yeah, that's really cool. So do I. What I'd like the wild unknown animal spirit or bot deck. What's the bot deck? 2 of Earth. We have an interesting, almost spider-like woman. Spider woman, because she's got obviously her 2 feet and then 6 arms, so she's 8 limbs, and she has a that's a spider web on her chest, and there's like she's watering these rose bushes, and she's tending to the bird and the butterfly, but she's a spider lady. What's your deal, spider lady? Interesting, though. Again, interesting choices. 3 of Earth. Oh my god, there's more foxes. Love a fox. And then the fox is assisting this fairy to either pick an apple, and so is this crow, to pick off an apple, or I don't know, maybe she's feeding the apple to the crow. There's some cooperation going on there, which is, I bet, the whole point of the 3 of Pentacles, right? The 4 of Earth. Now, this is interesting because, again, I talked about this with the Playful Heart Tarot. When you think of the Smith Waite and you think of that sort of that miserly feel, that holding on, but it's almost like a no, mine can't have kind of vibe. Whereas in the Playful Heart and then also in this one, we don't have this. We have this woman, this fae being. She's got a really intense stare. Oh, goodness. She's sitting among these seeds that have started to sprout, and it's almost like she's protecting them, protecting the resources, you know what I mean, rather than hoarding them. You know what I mean? And again, there's like so much going on in the background, these sort of woodlands. It's just, there's a lot. Very Klimt-esque. I need a sip of the old water. 5 of Earth. We have 5 dead plants on the bank. What appears to be on the bank of water. Is she in water, or is she just on the ground? There's like 5 dead plants. There's the water there. And behind her, we have 1, 2, 3, 5 wolves circling her. So we've got the death of these plants, of the resources. Maybe it's the resources here and they haven't. And it looks like it could be the same character. Can you see? The wings are quite similar. The hair is similar. It's just from further away. So we've got this continuation of the story. But those plants didn't make it, and now the wolves are circling in. The 6 of Earth has a very temperance vibe again, but considering of what it said on the back of the box about these opposing, what was it said? Opposing or opposites, where light and dark collide. That was it. So we have the 6 of Earth. Again, we've got lots of crows. Makes sense because we've got the Crow Tarot, the Urban Crow Oracle. Obviously, the artist is a big fan of crows. And why not? Crows are awesome. But then we've got this sort of we've got the dark, snowy side like the crows and the white hair, and the other side, this luscious tropical hummingbirds and lilies, and she looks like Lily Munster actually with her hair like that. The 7 of Earth. Again, snakes and foxes, and this snake is biting into the fruit. And this lady is picking them. It's interesting. And the fox is looking there like, can I have, give me fruits. This is like Dr. Nomi. Whenever I'm eating anything, she looks at me as if she's never had anything to eat ever before in her life. Pets her. We've got the 8 of Earth. This is cool. This is interesting because we've got actual photos of flowers amongst, like, I think the artist does use digital photographic images, but then applies filters to them, which gives them a more painterly effect. But here she's like straight up used the photographic images, which gives it a real, like a much more like handmade collage feel to it. But you definitely get that 8 of Pentacles kind of working, and you've got all the bees around as well, and she's got bee wings, so that's pretty cool. The 9 of Earth. This time we have what appears to be a white fox, among pine cones. Fennec fox. And sitting on the fox's head is a little fey being. I mean, I hope she asked the fox before she plonked herself down on its little head, because otherwise rude. And it looks like they're like sitting in a Christmas tree. But it has Christmas vibes, so I'm not mad about it. 10 of Earth. This is sweet. We have a woman with a child. Maybe it's her daughter. Maybe it's a niece. Maybe it's a godchild. Maybe she's nicked off with the kid and is raising it as her own. Who knows? But the kid seems happy enough, and they are picking apples, and there's lots of ladybirds. Can you see? I love ladybirds. And there's bees and wildflowers carpeting the... This looks like my local park during the summer. They just scatter loads of wildflower seeds to encourage like bees and butterflies and things. And it really does look like this is just a riot of colour carpeting the forest floor. It's lovely. Page of Earth. I don't know. I just really like the artwork. The courts, from what I know, they all have this like a frame around them, unlike, because obviously this is borderless, you've just got the title at the bottom, but all of the other pip cards don't have a border, and I don't think that the majors have a border from where, don't have a like a decorative border. I mean, it's not like a solid border, you know what I mean, almost like an archway going around. We have this character with a halved apple, the seed, the beginning of an idea, the apprentice, the page. The Knight of Earth. Oh, she's in some kind of like fungal like carapace, which is very interesting. And we've got these antlers that have fallen, these fallow antlers that have been shed, and then these flowers. I don't necessarily get the movement or the energy of a knight, but the Knight of Earth, the Knight of Pentacles, is the most steady of the knights, the most predictable and the most reliable and the most responsible of the knights. They're still a knight, but you know, they're more likely to be riding a Clydesdale than a sort of a racehorse. You know what I mean? The Queen of Earth. Oh, this purple is lovely. She's got bunny rabbits, and I love bunny rabbits. Small white rabbits, like in the Empress card. She's got a whacking great flower. She's probably eyeing that up to stick in her hair, because, yes. And she just seems to be in control and surrounded by abundance. But yeah, court cards can be so funny, can't they? You just don't... They don't always get across what... I mean, court cards are tricky anyway. Oh, this looks like there might be... Is that a printing? No, okay. I thought there was a printing error because there's a line across, but I'm realizing this is the ground level and the grass or the plants are green, and then this is down in the roots. So the elder rather than the king. So we don't have a king, we have an elder, which I really appreciate. Ooh, her dress is covered in eyes. Yes, love it. One of her wings is folded down and one of them is folded up. So you're getting that like as above, so below thing like you get in The Magician, which is interesting. And then from her hands, if you can see, the roots are growing up out of the top of the ground. That is that I think is my favorite out of the four courts for this suit. Really interesting. And she's just surrounded by all these roots, all this fecundity and all these, oh, yum. And we've got another symbol at the top. I'm going to need to look what these symbols means. I know there was the Omega symbol on one of the cards. Okay, I'm just going to sip and then I'm going to have a look through the chat and then I'll go through the next suit. People saying hello to each other. I'm such a child, I giggled at you saying well, glad I wasn't alone in that country. And Jamie as well. This one is tempting. Earth Alchemy Oracle card deck. I don't think I've heard of that one, Heather. You're a good animal mum. Always feed your animals first. My grandpa taught me that. Yeah, always feed your animals first. Kiss of the Spider Woman. Is that a thing, Calla Lily? Is that like a story? Gosh, this is such a gorgeous deck, says Candy. Stephanie says, yes, I have the Seed and Sickle, and I love it. The cards shuffle nicely. They have a very old world look, but it's modern at the same time. Yeah, I really love the color palette in that. It's so delicious. I can like just taste all the colors in it. It's yummo. Yummo in the tummo. Six of Earth is my stalker card in this deck, says Jamie. Sometimes I prefer cards with very little writing on them, and S&S gives me that. Plus, I am learning more about plants and flowers. Yeah, I think some of the plant oracles, they have like a little message on them that you can just sort of use. And then like I've seen that the Seed and Sickle, you actually really do have to use the little books that come with it. Hello, Kim. Do you have this one, Kim? Candy loves the Eight of Earth. Stephanie's falling in love with this deck. No buy year here, so it's all on hold. Oh, says Candy. You stay strong, Candy. You can do it. My daughter's peeking over my shoulder and is in love with this deck. Guess we'll have to get it then because I love it too, says Linda. I'm glad you see her fungal dress, says Pamela. Oh my God, Stephanie's wish list's out the door. Everyone watch Fantastic Fungi on Netflix and Tangled Life. Yeah, it's on. I've put it on my watch list. There's also a book by Merlin Sheldrake. He's a scientist and a musician and a general sort of bit of a Renaissance man. But he's written a really interesting book about fungi. I think I've mentioned it before, but it's on my list to get. I follow him on Twitter. He grew mushrooms from his book. So basically he seeded his book with fungi and waited until the mushrooms had started to decompose and break down his book and grow out of it. And then he harvested the mushrooms and cooked them and ate them. So he said he was literally eating his words. Like he's quite eccentric. So Entangled Life, that's it. It's called Entangled Life. So I'll get the link for you. Let's see. Actually, I'll give you a link to his website because then it's got everything there that he does. So he's well worth a follow on Twitter. He's an interesting chap. There we go. That's Merlin Sheldrake for you. Love a good eyeball dress, says Candy. Oh, Shauna, hello, my love. You all right? I got the Förhäxa. I did indeed. Kiss of the Spider Woman is a film, a brilliant film. Oh, hang on. Why? I thought it's a Kiss of the... Have I seen that? Spider Woman. 1985. Oh, I think I've seen this in like a B-movie binge fest. That looks familiar to me. With Raul Julia. Okay, yeah, and William Hurt. I think I have seen that. That's ringing bells, but not for a long time. And Fort, hello. Bit late, but should try. Well, I've got 3 more suits to get through, so you're good. Fantastic Fungi is great. I now know more than ever than I thought I wanted to know. Amazing. Okay, so let's go into the Ace of Water, to the suit of water, which is obviously the cups. So we have the Ace of Water, we've got a dove, we've got water, we've got rainbows. I'm not sure if that's some kind of sea creature floating in. I have no idea. But, or is that her tail? I don't know what's going on. I can't work it out. Is that a mer person? I don't know. There's a lot going on with this imagery. The Two of Water, I remember seeing this and loving the purples. And 2 mer people, and can you see their tails are like entangled at the bottom, which is very sweet, and they're holding hands. Look at that. Look at that yummy glowing, like the luminescence of the purple. Yum. The 3 of Water. Just another way again of depicting that joyfulness, that celebration, holding up the great shell of celebration. Maybe it's like a giant like margarita jug. Well, hey. 4 of water. Always looking into, yes, it's just her reflection. It's interesting what you see when you turn these ones up. You've got those lovely purple glowing flowers again. And then it's almost like this woman is sort of creeping up behind her as if to say, oh, like, careful, don't fall in, or something. I don't know. Or maybe it's a winged woman in love with a mermaid. And there's a little dragonfly on there. It's so pretty. The sun is either setting or rising. Maybe setting. Oh, 5 of water. We got this sad mermaid. And this angelic figure in the background with a cup. And lots of crabs. I mean, I would be upset if crabs were climbing up and maybe pinching my tail as well. And then there's these 2 other mer people, like, swimming away. I bet they've said to her, you can't swim with us. And now she's, like, crying because these 2 are a pair of bitches to her. That's going to be my headcanon. Okay, 6 of water, that nostalgia, that sweetness. We've got a mer, an adult mer person and a little mer person, and they are watching those lanterns. She's probably watching those lanterns going, oh, they've put them fucking lanterns out again. Oh, I'm going to be falling into the water. I'm going to have to clean them all up. And we've got like these 2 rabbits. There's a rabbit in each corner, but they're in that almost like they're going to fight pose. You know, when you see hares having a like pop at each other, they're about ready to like do a bit of fisticuffs. Can you see? 7 of water. This also makes me think of just the moon card. Like it feels more like a moon card than the moon card. Again, like look at this. There's like the scythe of death floating underwater, and then this woman, mer person, reaching up to the stars, sitting in the moon. It's perplexing, but beautiful, but perplexing. Like, why is the scythe there? Because if once you take one path, all the other paths are suddenly closed to you, which isn't always necessarily true. 8 of water. What is she holding there? Like a bundle of straw or something. Maybe she's just had a Swedish sauna. I don't know. There's a lot of butterflies. She's looking out over the water, but it doesn't feel like she's necessarily lost anything, or is, I don't know. Oh, hang on a second. She's sort of part way between sort of there's the scales, but then she's got feet. I was wondering what was going on there. I thought she had like just a mermaid scale sarong on, and then I was like, hang on, that's probably not right. 9 of water. Our first marginally plus-sized person in the deck. We have this rather lovely looking mer person amongst her guard. Although, why is the card associated with abundance and like lushness all of a sudden got someone who's plus sized? Is it because, you know what I mean? Not sure how I feel about that. And then 10 of water. Again, we have 2 very slightly plus size looking fairies and a mer creature here. If you can hear drilling, I'm sorry, but that's my next door neighbour. They've been having some work done on their house rather. There's lots of lotuses in the water. I guess it's this idea of fulfillment. These 2 fae folk holding up this daisy and this bird flying past. There's the rainbow. But who's this bird looking on? By bird, I mean this woman looking on. Like, is she just a voyeur? She's waving at them. Oh, she's a friend. She knows them. It looks like they're ignoring her, though, or they've not seen her. Oh my god, is this the poor mermaid that was crying in the Five of Cups? Who's like, she's just trying to make friends and just no one will like be friends with her. Oh dear. Okay, Page of Water. So she's just holding up her shell. No fish in the shell. I guess she's the fish, right? The Knight of Water is playing an instrument surrounded by swans. I would not want to be surrounded by swans. You piss one of them off, oh my god, they could break your neck. They're so dangerous. They're huge as well. Have you ever seen a swan up close? Oh my goodness. But yes, I like that this knight is singing. It's giving me like bard vibes from D&D. Like, of course, they would have like an instrument. The Queen of Water is sort of just looks like she's traveling on a platypus. How? Oh no, it's a whale. Sorry, it's because the rest of it. I just saw the top beaky bit, but it's like a beluga whale or something. Not a beluga whale. It's a. Oh, what's the one that has the filtration and it filters krill? Blue whale? No. Is it a blue whale? It might be a blue whale. And there's like a fish underneath there. I don't know, she's just like it's like you've got a tail, use it. And she's just like riding on this poor whale. Again, I hope she asks permission. A lot of cheeky mermaids and fairies in this deck, but then I guess that makes sense, like because fae folk will mess your shit up. We have the Elder of Water. I think the elders so far of the courts are my favourites. I love that there's like some greenery strategically covering her nipples because heaven forbid we see some tits. Again, we've got this eye imagery. There's an eye just here in between that little, it almost looks like the shape of her tail almost looks like a fish hook. She's sitting in a shell. And again, we've got this above pointing at the clouds and below with the water coming from her hands. So again, they're very much dominating their realm, their sphere of their element, which is really interesting. And again, we've got some more symbols. I'm really excited to look up what these mean. Now, let's just have another look. Let's have another look. Another look through the chat. Yes, that's the one, Pamela. Raul, Julia, and William Hurt and Sonia Braga. Wonderful. William Hurt. I was in William Hurt's house once. I got to use his bathroom. I used William Hurt's toilet. That Two of Water is gorgeous. It is indeed. Love the Jessica Botts botanical deck full of fungi. Celebration. Yeah, celebration. That's what I call it. Oh, and Chaya, Tiny Trinkets and Tarot. Did I see you earlier? I don't remember seeing you earlier, my dear. Kelly Bear, you have mentioned tasting colours many times before. Are you one of the lucky folks who can actually taste colours upon sight? I would love that. It's weird, right, Stephanie, because I don't taste like colours all the time. Like I'm looking at my pink tarot notebook right now and I'm not tasting it. It's usually when I see colours in conjunction with each other, they start to create these like flavours. And I've realised something very recently. There is a selection of colours that together that create this really yummy flavour that is very nostalgic in my mouth. That sounds weird. But when I see like pink and purple and like turquoise and like jade or aqua green all together, sometimes with a little bit of yellow thrown in, it has this really scrumptious taste for me. And it tastes like a Zap ice lolly. Just more so when I see lots of colours that sort of are harmonious to each other. Sometimes things do taste colours, like the tube map kind of has some flavours to me. It's weird. I can't explain it because it doesn't happen everything I'm looking at, and I don't understand why. But yeah, I can taste colours in certain situations. I don't know. I also like some sounds set off colours in my head as well. Apparently it's is it synesthesia? Those effing lanterns again, right? Like, stop it with the bloody lanterns, people. Star or scythe reminds me of death or cake. Yes! Eddie Izzard at her bust. Oh, cake, please. Wow, we're all out of cake. Oh. I rewatched that recently. That show, that live show, is one of my favourites. What was it? Was it Dress to Kill? Was it Dress to Kill? It wasn't Dress to Kill. What's the one in San Francisco? Definite Article. Love Eddie Izzard. Platypus travel is tricky. Yeah, I've realised it's a whale. William Hurt and toilet sounds like a story there. No, I was just in William Hurt's house and then I needed the loo. So I was like, well, this is weird. I'm using William Hurt's toilet, as you do. And it was a real moment for me because it sounds wanky, but like from the jobs that I've done, I've worked with a lot of celebrities. But and I grew up in an area that was a real mix mash of like poor people and sort of like actors and like celebs. Tufnell Park in the 1980s and 1990s. It's still very much like it. I don't live there anymore. My mum does though. But William Hurt was one of the people that I got excited about being in his house because he is in one of my all-time favorite films, which is Alien. So it was like I have 1 degree of separation from Alien, my favorite film. Linda got to love a Kelly Bear live, starts with a deck, ends in a celebratory toilet. Not me doing a celebratory toilet though, right? It was just a wee though. I didn't grace it with anything more than that, I'm afraid. Eddie Izzard is a genius, pure genius, 100% bloody. And I've seen Eddie Izzard live, and she did a follow-on from the Death Star Canteen. It was amazing. Anyway, we're off. And okay, I want to get this done within an hour, like to be done, hour and a half done and dusted, because these are long, and I don't think people like ever really watch them back. So, which is fair, to be honest. So we have the Ace of Air and this dragon, and then all of these other dragon silhouettes, and she's like, "No, you shall not pass." And she's got these beautiful white feathered wings, and she's like a bird. But again, she's got horns. She's a horny bird. And there are many dragons, and she is holding them off. And she's got like a staff, which I guess is meant to be it's a sword, but it looks like it's made from ice. Which, ouch. 2 of Air. We've got these crows. You get this like dynamism, this flow of what looks like wind whipping around. That it's almost like they're circling this woman. And it's like her thoughts, or maybe it's like Hugin and Munin, right? Odin's ravens, like whipping around thought and memory. That's interesting. But she's got wings as well, but she's got sort of more insect wings. She's standing on a precipice, very much like the Fool, actually. That is interesting. And below, you can see this woodland below. But if she's still bird size, so she's got wings, so she'd be fine if she jumped off, right? 3 of Air. Oh my goodness, this is intense. Okay, so we've got this character here who has clearly been stabbed up. She's been shanked. She's bleeding. She's reaching up to this bitch who's like stabbed her and has like walked away, and is just like carrying on doing her like ritual with her like fellow, I don't know, have they got red hair, or have they, I don't know, it's like silhouettes and they've got red hair, but like rude. Is she like a sacrifice? Oh, this is ouchy. And all these branches, like, and she's naked, she's really vulnerable, and there's all these like branches, like they're just gonna be like scratching at her bare skin. Ow. Eddie Izzard did door-to-door here camping for the Labour Party, and she stopped at the road next to me. I would have just loved to knock on my door. Oh, that's such a shame that you didn't get to see. Yeah, betrayal, doesn't it? Stabbed. Well, yeah. I was going to say stabbed in the back, but it looks like she was stabbed in the stomach, which is a really bad place to be stabbed. 4 of Air. We've got all of these shed skins, like snake skins. And then this woman laying at a top. Okay, I know it's meant to mean that she's chilling out and resting, but all I can think is that, you know, when you see people in films, and the woman wants someone wants to get pregnant, and then they're like laying on their back with their knees up. That's all I can think of. She's having a rest after a particularly heavily baby making session. What are all these skins for? What's going on? Why is she on the top of a giant piece of Toblerone? I don't understand. Anyway. 5 of air. Is she angry? She kind of looks like she's like calling out or something. It is a she pronoun. Yeah, she just said she preferred to be she wants to stay in girl mode now. So she says she doesn't mind like if you use what pronouns you, but has a preference for she, her, from what I remember. So I try to use she, as that's her preferred pronouns. Especially when I noticed that friends that are non-binary that use they, she, or they, he, people will always defer to the she or the he rather than using the they. So I try to use the they over the he or the she, just because people will always tend to default to what's more comfortable for them to use when addressing a non-binary or genderqueer person. But we got these dragons again. Oh, this looks like she has been like, oh, dragons, will you come and take away this very annoying little fairy? She's such a goody two-shoes. I'm getting rid of her. Oh my goodness. They've like properly got her arm in its mouth, and one of them's got her by the hair. This is dark. It does look like a giant piece of Toblerone though, doesn't it? 6 of air, so 6 of swords. This woman is off with her apple lantern. I'm not sure how that works. And she's flying off on a bird. Never mind leaving on a jet plane, leaving on a crow. Flying off into the sunset, maybe? Someone is like, Toblerone. I can't have Toblerone because I'm vegan. I haven't had Toblerone for like, it'll be, how many years? It'll be 13 years this year since I've been vegan. 7 of air. We've got that council here in the background, right? From the the Council of the Elements, or whatever it was for the Emperor. And then this like shady, what is she doing? She's like, she's got like a Loki thing on. That's 100% a nod to Loki, as in like, but the MCU Loki design, maybe, of the headdress. Not 100% sure what's going on. I feel like they're going to be humming that tune that you hear in like Archive 81. Creepy. 8 of air is good though. This really, I can see what the deal is with here. Although, you know, with the 8 of swords, often the person is very lightly bound. They're not really tied up, and the swords are very loosely placed around the character, around this woman in the Rider-Waite-Smith. She could quite easily take those those bonds off of herself and step between the swords and walk away. It's almost like a self-imposed or just only perceived boundary or restriction that isn't really there. It's like the mental restrictions that we put on ourselves, right? Whereas with this, like, she's like legit really tightly wound up in spider silk. And she's wee, right? She's like a little fey creature. So that's going to really bind. I don't know how... And her face is like pasted to the web. Like, this feels a lot more like she's not getting out of this. And there are like 8 spiders. She is lunch. That's way creepier. Hi, Rona. You all right, my love? Lovely to see you. What's that? I don't think so, but they would probably be safe. What's they? Sorry? What's they? 4. I've missed something. But Eddie uses she, her now, if that was what it was. They've come out. She's came out and mentioned it. There was a whole hoo-ha amongst fucking gender criticals and TERFs bitching about it. Because TERFs. 9 of air. This actually, this card is usually less severe in the Smith way, and this card is usually more severe. Yeah, I'm getting more of a like, oh, I'm just a bit melancholy, just looking down. They're like sitting on top of some flowers or a tree, and they're just looking down at all these little bugs, these flying ants. Maybe they just look a bit wistful and a bit melancholy. They're just like, oh, a bit emo, and a bit just a bit PMSy. I don't know. It feels like less severe than does anyone else feel that? It's like it doesn't have that like heavy, and I guess because they're looking down rather than having anything like hanging over them, like you've got those swords like pressing down in the 9 of swords, and it's very like and this person's got their head in their hands and they're like absolutely just bereft, whereas here just a bit just listening to a bit of Morrissey and The Cure, listening to a bit of the Smiths. Okay, 10 of ow. Okay, yeah, this feels a bit more like the 10 of swords, as in like she is nailed, like literally nailed to this tree, and these I believe must be her wings. They've pulled off her wings, nailed them to the tree. There's this like bloody handprint, which makes the hand is huge, which makes me think this is a human hand has attacked this fae being and done a very horrific act of cruelty upon this, subjected this poor fae being to an act of cruelty. And around her are just all these petals and blossoms and flowers. It's almost like in her death she will bring renewal. I don't know. It's very dark. Kristen, hello, Kristen. Lovely. Are they termites, Tammy Pie? They look like flying ants. They're flying ants. I don't know if termites are an issue here in Europe. Well, I don't know. I could be wrong. I say that I'll probably end up with a termite infestation in my house next week, because that tends to be my way my life tends to work. Page of air. So we've got this again. This page singing to a crow, maybe, or just communing with a crow. I know that she's like purple. She's got pointy ears and horns. And has she got red eyes? No, she doesn't have red eyes, but she looks spooky, and I like it. The Knight of Air. I feel like this and this are quite similar though. Like, okay, like she's upgraded to like a hunting bird, right? As in like a bird of prey, because it's looks like a hawk or a kestrel of some kind. But I've just noticed though this one doesn't have any wings herself, whereas the knight does. The knight does have that freedom of movement to fly. The Queen is so cool. Look at this like literal queen bee. I mean, say no more. That just alone just says everything. But she's like spinning a bee or a wasp on her finger like it's a basketball. The Elder of Air is raising her sword to the sky. I can't see where her other hand is. So she could be doing the other below movement, but I can't see her hand. But she is surrounded by crows, one of which looks like it's about to peck her in the head. But I'm sure that's not what's about to happen. And there's like feathers at the bottom here. And yeah, you've got this area. She's surrounded by sort of clouds or mist. This one feels the strangest to me, like feels so far like she's got an interesting, again, another symbol here. I don't know if it's her outfit looks very like it's just, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not loving her outfit. Not sure about this one. But again, we've got eyes in the background and in the throne. So there seems to be lots of eyeballs. Let's have a quick look through the live chat and then I will do the final suit. Maybe she's the Spider Woman. Oh, maybe she is the Spider Woman. That's a good point. It is a cruel 10, isn't it, Calla Lily? You're cracking my husband and I up with some Scottish. Oh no, your husband's there as well. Gosh, it looks flowery, but it's really dark at times. It is, yeah. It's definitely not like a soft deck. It's definitely not a playful heart tarot by any stretch. What tarot is this one? This is the Förhäxa tarot, which means like enchanted or bedeviled. At first glance, this deck looks so pretty and fluffy, but it's dark and intense, part of why I like it. Yeah, right. This is the thing. I like things that are cute or have an element of like beauty about them, but then there's this like bite to something. It has a sting in its tail, and that is just like my favorite sweet spot. Okay, so we're on to the suit of fire, which would of course be the suit of wands in a traditional Smith-Waite deck. So we have the ace of fire. We actually have this woman and she's leaving the woods. She's holding a fiery branch aloft and she's walking ahead out of the woods into what appears to be from the night to the day and from the woodlands to an urban setting. Can you see those houses or buildings in the background? And the sun is shining, it appears. Is it sun? I don't know. Hang on. Let me get me all magnifying glass. All right, hang on. Let's have a look. Maybe it's just a cloud. It doesn't look like a sun. But she's going from like, this appears to be like the moon glow, and she's heading out of the woods. The two of fire. Oh my goodness. This woman looks like she's raising some hell. I love her wings. They're amazing. But she's controlling the element of fire, and she's surrounded by flame. She has taken time to put like a little rug down though. Can you see that? There's like a little rug. I thought it was like a pathway, but it ends at the front there. So she's like, put that. I hope that's fireproof. I mean, it's magic, so it's probably fireproof. Oh, maybe it's a flying carpet. Three of fire. Again, we've got these like weird Klimt-esque dresses going on. She's got wings and horns again. She's got flaming hands. And there's all this like brickwork or something tumbling down into the water below. So it looks like she's raining destruction. I don't know if these fire fairies are bad news or not. We've got the four of fire. Oh my god. And we have like this fairy being born out of a chrysalis. What? I mean, I guess it's a cause for celebration. There's all like these mini like volcanoes, or are they in the background? Oh, my phone's ringing. Things. Okay, anyway, I will have to like go back and see if I can like crop this bit out of the video afterwards, so anyone that's watching it back doesn't have like a blank screen for a few minutes. How long was I on the phone for? Let me just see. Oh, my alarm's about to go off as well. How long have I been on the bloody phone, on the live? An hour and 35 minutes. Holy crap balls. Okay, hang on. Meow. Sorry, just trying to sort stuff out. Okay, I was on the phone for at least 5 minutes. Oh, we got silly buggers. Just ignore them. not even worth the breath, honestly. So let's just go back up through the chat, and then let's see. Meow meow meow. Okay. That's not what I want to do. So okay, yeah, I didn't mean to put when the phone call is over, but for some reason I had accidentally pressed the caps whilst I was typing, because I was typing with one finger whilst holding the phone, and I saw it and it put it in over like I was shouting. I was like, no. Oh dear. Oh, Scott's here. Is Scott here? Hello, Scott. I didn't see you pop in. Let's have a look. Oh dear. Let's see. So I'm just trying to deal with silly buggers. Let's see, who said behind the veil? Hey Kelly, just saying Poppy to say hi. I'm at work. Shh, I won't tell anyone. Your secret's safe with me, my dear. Just trying to find. I'm sort of trying to catch up with the all hail the wrenches, lol. Yeah, right. It's so odd. Yeah, the things that people choose to do with their free time just is wild, right? Anyway, okay, so let's see. You just ordered the deck, Linda. Awesome sauce. There's no Deanne. Yeah, Deanne's husband hurt his neck. Take your time, Kelly. That's real life stuff. It is indeed. Goodness. Can you let's see. Yeah, I did think, yeah, thanks, Kristen. Yeah, I think Deanne's husband had hurt himself. So I hope he's okay, especially look, what a time to pull his neck out, right? My goodness. Not very good timing. That's life though, right? It just has a way of getting in the way, doesn't it? And causing problems at the worst possible times. So let's see. I think I'm up to date. Oh, who's in a timeout? I haven't timed anyone out on purpose. I was trying to time out Belland. I hope Candy's able to come back. Oh dear. It's like whack-a-mole, isn't it? Anyway, just ignore them because they've obviously not got anything better to do with their time. And I've only got a few cards left. So we already looked at the Four of Swords. The 5 of Fire. We've got these like fire snakes, and this like fey creature sort of fighting them off, I guess. But they're not at any risk, I don't think, if you think about the 5 of Wands. But she's treading on that poor snake's head. Lots of animals being like sat on and trodden on in this. Candy should be back shortly too. I hope I didn't accidentally block Candy. I didn't mean to do that. 6 of Fire. I love all the like sunflowers in this one. Very golden, sunshiny, warm, energy here. That's pretty cool. Getting that sort of victory. Your card, Shauna. 7 of Fire. Oh, we have like these gnarly looking salamander creatures, all, I don't know, having a go at each other. And then this woman with a snake maybe climbing up her leg, standing above them. It's all very strange. I don't get that someone like sneaking off with something in that you usually get in the 7 of Swords. 8 of Fire, that makes sense, right? You've got this movement and everything. Chat is jumping from so many trolls. It's just one person with nothing better to do with their time. Sorry, Scott. They've obviously got like a buttload of accounts. Really started something. So we'll see. Hopefully I can get them. I love how they're trying to like embarrass me by mentioning OnlyFans. Baby, you couldn't afford me on OnlyFans. Oh. 9 of Fire. That's cool because she's got like an eye patch on, and then look at all these eyes in the background. Cool. Okay, so we've got the final 4 court cards. We have, oh no, sorry, this is the 10, sorry, with the, they've got, it looks like pine cones that are on fire, which gives me very sort of bonfire tarot vibes. You know, there's lots of like pine cones on fire in that one. I think that represents the wands as well. And this person just sort of bent over with this basket. This is obviously too heavy for them. They can't keep going. They look a bit like a girl fling, which is cool. I'm about that. Oh dear. Do people actually like believe their own bullshit? I feel sorry for you, babe. Are you okay? Oh, Page of Fire. So again, they're holding like, well, there's like a sphere floating above them, and then like a fire. That's interesting, but very strange. And again, there's another snake, which honestly, at first glance, looks a little like something else. What's Stephanie saying? Thanks for explaining how you can taste some color combinations. I really saw a television program featured info about that and seeing color when music is playing. Yeah, I didn't realize it was a thing until I got a bit older and I sort of started hearing about it. I just thought it was a thing that people had. I mean, like, as in, I didn't think it was a thing. I was like, oh, well, everyone has that. And then people were like, no. And I was like, what? There you go. The Knight of Fire. We've got this woman, this person, this fae being handling a snake that is like vomiting a huge amount of fire. Ew. It's just like better out than in, though, right? And then we've got the final one. I love this purple around the border, and it is the oh, there's an extra card. Oh no, it's not. There's 2 cards. Oh my god. Sorry, I didn't mean to time you out, my love. It was just must have been when the chat was jumping and I was trying to like wield my hammer. And you got caught in the crossfire. I'm so sorry. You know I'd never like knowingly do that, my love. Queen of Fire. She's got like fire, like fireflies, which makes sense, right? Because although she's got bird-like wings again, but her wings are on fire. This girl is on fire. Oh, babe, give it up. Da, 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 da. Baby, give it up. And then the Elder of Fire, who she looks pretty pleased with herself. And we've got is that Mjolnir? Or as Darcy likes to call it in the MCU, Meow Meow, which is what I tend to call it just for funsies. I call Thor Thundernuts and Meow Meow. So we've got more eyeballs on the dresses, which is cool. And then, yeah, we've got a spider web and she's holding a sunlight. Lots of spiders and snakes in this. So yeah, interesting deck. Shall we see how it shuffles? I'm going to take my rings off so I don't ruin the card, like catch my cards on them. And we shall see. Should I put this like this? It's getting really dark. Let's see how it I think I'm going to have a little bit more trouble shuffling this just because it's wider. But the card stock is it's not too thick a deck that if it was any thicker, I'd probably really struggle. I don't know if I'm going to be able to bridge it because of the width of the deck, but we shall see. Can't really see the way I'm doing that. So profesh. Yep. Okay, so yeah, I can riffle shuffle it. I don't think I can bridge it. Yeah, I just sort of have to slide them back. And then overhand, I probably have to overhand them like upright rather than sideways again, because yeah, they're quite, oh no, they're about the same. They're a little, yeah, I can do both ways. I think it's probably a little bit easier this way. But yeah, there we have it. Wow, this ended up being way longer than it needed to be. But there we go. It is one of my videos. They do tend to go on a bit. Yeah, thank you to those of you that have joined in, except for those that are trying to cause trouble. But honestly, though, go get a life. Dear me. Anyway, I'm going to go get myself a refill of my water and a snack. And yeah. Get on with my day. Shuffles nicely. It seems to have big cards. I love big cards. Shadowscapes needs to do that. They really do, don't they? They really need to print a larger version, just because it doesn't do the artwork justice at all. Like, I don't know why. They had a chance when there was like the 10-year anniversary of the deck being published. I really thought that they were going to print a larger version for the English text, because so many people have called for it, but no, they did not. But there we go. Anyway, let's hope that the troll finds some happiness in their life. Bless them. And yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you, Candy. And yeah, let me know if you're watching this back, if you have this deck, what you think of it. Do you want it? Do you not like it? I don't know. And yeah, I hope you all take care of yourselves, look after each other. And yeah, I will. Oh no, so just slip it in the Tarot Stash Gerald. Sorry, my love. Not more coffee. Yeah, I can't have coffee at this time in the day myself. Oh, it's morning for you, because I'll be wide awake at 3 a.m. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your days, folks, whatever time it is for you there. And I will see you in the next one. Ciao.